Hey guys, it's Chris. From large, dangerous hyenas to wild cats with sharp teeth, here are 11 of the craziest pets you won't believe people own. Number 11. Skunk. When you think about the skunk, the natural instinct is to say that you hope you never have to get near one, else be sprayed by their glands full of mercaptan and thus stink wildly as a result. Yet as many people have proven over the years, skunks can be your pet. And in fact, there are even pet stores in places like the United States, Canada, Germany, Italy, and more that allow you to have them as pets. If you're wondering about the gland, they're actually removed from the skunk at 4 weeks of age, so you'll never have to worry about you or your home getting sprayed. Another thing that may surprise you is that the act of bringing in skunks as pets has been around for hundreds of years. The Native Americans would bring in skunks as domesticated pets to help them kill rodents. However, if you're thinking about getting your own skunk, be warned, it's not an easy pet to raise compared to basics like cats and dogs. Skunks, for example, have a much bigger appetite, if you can believe it, and thus require a much larger variety of food. What's more, you have to be very careful with how you handle them when they're young, else they become prone to aggression when they're older. Number 10. Foxes. Foxes are known as very cunning creatures, but they're also widely considered very wild, and have been known to attack humans if provoked. However, in Russia, an experiment started all the way back in 1959 to raise a group of foxes that would not only be nice to humans, but would be happy in their care. Specifically, it was done on a type of red fox known as the silver fox, which was a fox that had a genetic mutation. The process to domesticate the foxes worked rather well, and despite the fall of the former Soviet Union, the process of keeping these foxes domesticated and then raising new ones is still ongoing, including having a farm in Russia where the foxes live with humans before being sent to other homes. The only catch to all of this is that while they are basically regular pets, they cost $9,000 a pup. Furthermore, while they were raised to be like cats and dogs, they still have fox needs that need to be met, such as an outdoor enclosure and a certain set of food to be healthy. Number 9. Lions. There are many people in the world today that would love the chance to have a lion as a pet. However, in many places of the world, it's illegal, including much of the United States. That doesn't mean it's illegal everywhere, though, such as the United Arab Emirates, where a billionaire playboy has decided to indulge himself by buying a lion for his own personal zoo, which he not only shows off on his Instagram page, but it's also in his backyard. While it may be fair to be envious of him, it's also fair to say that this is a rather dangerous endeavor. Lions are the king of the jungle for a reason. While they can be quite calm and rational at times, they're also capable of lightning-fast attacks. Not to mention that the lion is a very heavy animal at times, as the males can weigh over 400 pounds. At present, he has not been hurt by his lion or any of the other exotic creatures that he keeps in his backyard. Number 8. Hippopotamus. By and large, hippopotamus are one of the most deceptively dangerous animals in the world. They have a massive frame that can weigh over 3,000 pounds at times, and that makes them seem slow. But they can run in short bursts of 20 miles per hour and have quite the bite strength that can crush the human body, and have crushed boats without much effort. What's more, they're a species that is honestly rather aggressive towards humans, which is why many in Africa try to avoid them when possible, with the exception of Jessica the hippo. Jessica was found by Tony and Shirley Bear in South Africa. They were on their property in the area when they noticed a small hippo being in trouble at a nearby riverbank. They saved her and then took care of her themselves. By the time she was a full-grown hippo, Jessica was widely considered one of the kindest and most docile hippopotamus in the world. So much so that she has a website dedicated to her as well as her own fan club. Since their finding and raising of Jessica, more hippos have come into their area, including one named Charlie, who Tony saved from being killed once. Many are surprised by how friendly and playful Jessica is with Tony and Shirley, as it seems to defy convention in regard to the hippos as a species. This is a touching story, but another story painted a much grimmer picture. Marius was also a man in Africa who had a hippo named Humphrey. Marius and Humphrey were apparently very close, and Marius did truly love his pet hippo. However, one day, Humphrey attacked Marius and killed him. What was left of his body was found in the river days later. And now for number 7, but first, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell if you're new to World List. Number 7. Grizzly Bear. If one were to try and list off some of the scariest and most dangerous animals you can meet in the wild, Well, the grizzly bear would likely be near the top of that list. Grizzly bears are known to be incredibly aggressive creatures in the right circumstance, and their massive frame doesn't hinder their ability to run down prey, including humans. Yet for Casey Anderson, he claims that one of his best friends he's ever had in his entire life is his pet grizzly bear named Brutus. The tale of Casey and Brutus is rather unique. Casey found Brutus the bear at a wildlife park, one that was overcrowded, and so they were gonna put Brutus down as a result. Casey stopped that from happening and raised Brutus himself, as the bear was only 5 months old at the time. Wanting to make sure Brutus was one that lived in a proper setting, he opened the Grizzly Bear Rescue and Education Sanctuary in Montana in 2004. Due to Casey's raising of Brutus, the two developed a very personal and close bond. One that even led Casey to having Brutus as the best man at his wedding, and even getting on Oprah in 2009. What's more, as he raised him, Casey noted that Brutus could not just understand emotions of humans, but also feel some of the same ones as well, including pain, sadness, joy, and more. Now, it should be noted that the case of Casey and Brutus is an outlier, and you shouldn't just go into the woods and try to find a bear cub of your own to raise. Furthermore, grizzly bears do kill humans, and so while it might be okay to dream about being like Casey, accept that this is a rare case and don't try to have the same thing happen to you, as it just might not go as smoothly. Number 6. Hyena. Humanity has many different opinions when it comes to the creatures known as hyenas. Because of their nature as hunters and scavengers, as well as their laugh, they've been popularized as evil, scary, and vicious. They've also been misrepresented as relatives of dogs when they're actually more in line with the cat family. However, for Brian Hahn, he didn't see a scary creature. He saw what he felt was the best potential pet ever. Brian Hahn wanted a pet, but he also felt that all the basic pets were just boring. So he went to a private zoo and bought Jake the hyena when he was just a baby. What he learned very quickly, though, was that the hyena wasn't meant to be confined in small spaces. What's more, he illegally was housing the hyena in his Florida apartment and lied on his application to get the hyena by saying he lived in Alabama. After 11 months of trying to raise Jake the hyena, Brian realized that it wasn't right to keep Jake confined. So he reached out to wildlife shelters and eventually gave Jake to the Octagon Wildlife Sanctuary in Florida. Despite their relationship ending, that didn't mean Jake forgot his owner. In a somewhat famous YouTube video, Brian went to the Octagon to visit Jake on his 4th birthday. Upon seeing him, the hyena got very excited and even did its laugh as Brian petted him. Number 5. Alligator. At one time in the United States, it was popular for young kids to have alligators as pets, as they were seen as cute and easy to take care of. But once they started to get bigger, the parents got rid of them, and eventually laws were put in place to ensure that alligators couldn't be kept as pets without certain conditions and provisions being met. Such is the case with Mary Thorne and her alligator that she calls Rambo. Mary and Rambo had been together for 15 years as of 2016. Mary rescued Rambo and brought him back to her property in Florida. As the law states, Mary got a permit to ensure she could have Rambo on her property, and she owned land that was deemed big enough to contain the alligator. Since then, they grew to be quite close, to the extent that Mary would dress Rambo up in a wide variety of clothes, as well as riding on ATVs and motorcycles. As if that wasn't enough, Rambo also eats dinner at the dinner table with Mary, and even gets along with her other pets. Further denouncing the scary nature of the gator, she trained Rambo to keep its mouth shut when humans are around. However, as Rambo continued to grow, a modified law made it illegal for Mary to own him based on the property she had. She fought the law, though, so she could try and keep Rambo, and eventually she got official permission to keep him regardless of how big he got. Number 4. Polar bear. Being as polar bears typically live in the Arctic Circle or areas nearby, like Alaska and certain places in Canada, the interaction between them and humans are small. However, like all bears, they can be very dangerous and are known to be incredibly strong when attacking. And though rare, there have been times when polar bears have attacked and killed humans. However, when it comes to Mark Dumas and his polar bear AG, that thought didn't cross their minds. Mark and his wife Dawn own and run Beyond Just Bears in Canada, and it's there that you'll find their pet polar bear AG, who not only loves them, but also allows Mark to swim with her and even purrs when Mark pets her. This trust and relationship has been built over a 20-plus year life in regard to AG. Mark notes that he's had AG her whole life. which is impressive, for as he revealed, the average life of a polar bear in the wild is about 20 years max, but in captivity they can live 40 or more years, and he hopes to have that with AG. Not only is AG kind to Mark and Dawn, but she's also been trained so she can perform and even act in commercials. Number 3. Tiger. Most big cats are illegal to own for health and safety reasons, but for legendary and infamous boxer Floyd Money Mayweather, he didn't feel any danger or threat in having his own pet tiger. Tigers are the biggest of the big cats, and many would argue that they're not meant to be pets because they can't be fully controlled. This was proven by Floyd one time during a stay in Las Vegas. He put his pet tiger and a recently acquired pet white tiger from India with him in his hotel room. And when things started to get a little rowdy via all the people around, the tiger wanted to walk around the room. But Floyd wouldn't let that happen, which got the tiger even more forceful until things finally quieted down. A video of this was taken and had many animal rights groups calling for the freeing of these pets because tigers are meant to be pets in their eyes. At this point, Floyd has not released the tigers. Number 2. Raccoon. While raccoons may not be scary in the larger sense, they have been known to be very dangerous, carry diseases, and are known to be filthy animals via rummaging around in the trash of human homes. Yet as Pumpkin the raccoon is revealed to her owner, Rosie Kemp, they can be nice pets in the right circumstances. For Pumpkin, though, there's a bit of an identity issue going on because she doesn't think she's a raccoon, but rather a dog. Kemp found Pumpkin in her backyard in Nassau, which is in the Bahamas. She waited for the mother to appear to take care of her, but it didn't arrive. Thus, Rosie adopted her and started to take care of Pumpkin herself. Since then, not only has Pumpkin thrived at being a house pet, she mingles quite well with her brothers. A couple of dogs named Toffee and Oreo. The three play with one another, often sleep next to one another, and happily pose for pictures for their popular Instagram page. Number 1. Bobcat. While it's true that many exotic animals can be kept as pets without much issue, the opposite is also true that keeping exotic pets can cause all kinds of problems, which is what Ginny Fine proved by trying to keep a bobcat called Rocky. Rocky was a 38-pound bobcat that Ginny liked to treat like a child in certain ways in her home in New Jersey. And one of the ways she did that was by letting him roam free in the area of Stanford Township. In fact, he continued to get out, causing many stirs in the town when he did. So much so that Ginny was taken to court many times and had to fight for the right to keep Rocky. She agreed to put up special housing and gates to ensure that Rocky could both roam free within the property and yet not roam around the town. But despite doing this, Ginny still let Rocky loose, and when she got caught, the bobcat was ordered to be put into the local Popcorn Park Zoo for the rest of its life. Thanks for watching. What did you think of these rather scary and big creatures that people honestly own as pets? Would you want any one of these animals? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on World List.